What if I told you the solar system doesn't end at Pluto, or stars twinkle because they are far away is a myth, or black holes don't suck everything in? You'll probably think what the hell I am talking about. But there are many such small facts which are completely false. So I am Saurasis Chakraborty, you are watching Astrosaurasis. Today we will know some common facts about space which are completely false. When you look at the sun in the middle of the sky, what color is it? You might say yellow. But what color is the sunset? You might say red. So what is the real color of the sun? The idea that the sun is yellow is actually a common misconception. When we look at the sun from Earth, we are seeing it through layers of our atmosphere. The atmosphere scatters shorter wavelengths of light like blue and violet more than longer wavelengths like red and yellow. This scattering makes the sun appear more yellow, orange or red, especially during sunrise or sunset. Our eyes are more sensitive to certain wavelengths of light, particularly the yellow-green spectrum. This makes the sun's light, which is a mix of all colors, seem more yellow. But what color is the sun really? The sun emits light across the entire visible spectrum: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. When combined, these colors create white light. If you could view the sun from space without the Earth's atmosphere in the way, it would appear white. This is because all the colors of its light reach you equally, without atmospheric interference. The sun is not yellow, it's white. It only looks yellow, orange or red because of how Earth's atmosphere scatters light. From space, where there is no atmosphere distortion, the sun shines as pure white light. Another common myth is the moon has a dark side. The phrase "dark side of the moon" became popular because the moon always shows the same face to Earth. This happens due to a phenomenon called tidal locking, where the moon's rotation period matches its orbit around Earth. As a result, one side of the moon is always visible from Earth, while the other side remains hidden from our view. The hidden side of the moon is not always dark like Earth. The moon experiences day and night cycles. As the moon orbits Earth, sunlight falls on different parts of it. This means the far side of the moon, the part we can't see, gets just as much sunlight as the near side. We debunked this myth thanks to space exploration. The Soviet Luna 3 spacecraft was the first to photograph the far side in 1959. NASA's Apollo missions orbited the moon, showing astronauts that the far side receives sunlight, just like the near side. Now think about this: if you were floating in space, you would probably think that you wouldn't be able to hear anything because there is no air in space, right? That's partly true, but not entirely. Space is a vacuum, meaning it has very few particles like air molecules compared to Earth. On Earth, sound travels through vibrations in the air, water or solids. Since space doesn't have enough particles close together to carry these vibrations, it's often said that space is silent. But space isn't completely silent. Even in the emptiest regions of space, there are particles like hydrogen and helium atoms, plasma and dust. These particles are extremely sparse, but they exist. When they move or collide, they create vibrations. Space is full of electromagnetic waves, like radio waves, X-rays, and gamma rays, which we cannot hear directly. Specialized instruments like radio telescopes can detect these waves and convert them into sound that we can hear. The sun produces vibrations due to its boiling plasma, creating sounds that can be captured and processed by space probes. Here is the sound of sun captured by NASA. Some planets like Jupiter and Saturn emit radio waves that scientists have turned into eerie whistling sounds. This is the Jupiter sound. And this is the Saturn sound. Some regions of space like inside nebula or near dense plasma clouds have enough particles for sound waves to propagate. These sounds are still too faint for human ears, but they exist. So you must have understood by now that space is not completely silent. If you were asked which planet is the hottest in our solar system, you would probably say Mercury, because it is closest to the sun. But it's not. Mercury does get very hot during the day because it's so close to the sun. The temperature on its surface can reach 800 degrees Fahrenheit or 427 degrees Celsius. However, Mercury has no atmosphere to trap the heat. This means that as soon as the sun sets, all the heat escapes into space, and the temperature plummets to freezing, minus 290 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 179 degrees Celsius at night. So, Mercury experiences extreme temperature swings between day and night, but Venus is the farther from the Sun than Mercury, but is surrounded by a thick atmosphere made mostly of carbon dioxide. This creates a powerful greenhouse effect. The sun's rays pass through Venus' thick atmosphere and warm up the planet's surface, instead of releasing the heat back into space. The carbon dioxide traps it, like a blanket. As a result, Venus stays incredibly hot all the time, with surface temperatures reaching about 900 degrees Fahrenheit or 475 degrees Celsius, hotter than Mercury, both day and night. People assume that being closer to the sun automatically means being hotter, but atmosphere plays a massive role in determining a planet's temperature. Venus' atmosphere acts like a thermal blanket, making it the true hottest planet, while Mercury's lack of an atmosphere lets its heat escape. Do you know exactly where our solar system begins? You might say Mercury, but where does it end? You probably say Pluto, but no. The solar system is not just the planets orbiting the sun. It includes everything held together by the sun's gravity, such as planets, moons, asteroids, comets, dwarf planets like Pluto, and even tiny particles of dust. For most of the 20th century, Pluto was considered the ninth and farthest planet from the sun. Because it seemed so far away, people assumed it marked the age of the solar system, but that's not true. Beyond Neptune lies the Kuiper Belt, a vast region filled with icy objects, including Pluto. The Kuiper Belt extends for hundreds of millions of miles past Pluto. The sun emits a stream of charged particles called the solar wind. This creates a bubble-like region called the heliosphere, which surrounds the solar system. Even farther out is the Oort cloud, a spherical shell of icy bodies that surrounds the solar system. And the last one, when we see the sun shining brightly and feel its warmth, it's easy to assume it's burning like something on Earth. Fire on Earth happens when fuel like wood or gas reacts with oxygen to produce heat, light and flames. But the sun doesn't burn this way because there's no oxygen in space. Fire as we know it is a chemical reaction, and the sun works on a completely different process. At the sun's center, the temperature is about 15 million degrees Celsius or 27 million degrees Fahrenheit. It's unimaginably hot and under extreme pressure. The sun is mostly made of hydrogen gas. Under the high pressure and temperature in its core, hydrogen atoms are squeezed together. This process is called nuclear fusion. During fusion, hydrogen atoms combine to form helium. This releases an enormous amount of energy in the form of light and heat. Fire on Earth needs oxygen to burn. The sun doesn't have oxygen in the same way Earth does. Fusion is a nuclear reaction, not a chemical one like fire. It's the same process that powers hydrogen bombs, but much more control in the sun. So, be sure to let me know what you think about these common space facts. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more, subscribe to Astrosources. See you with another amazing video. Stay well and stay healthy.